Dear students, now I am going to teach you the topic task scheduling. From the name itself, we can say what is task scheduling, how the tasks are scheduled for the servers. Okay, if number of tasks are there means which task to be serviced first, which is to be serviced second, which is to be serviced third, that will be controlled by the help of task scheduling. Okay, there are two types: non-preemptive scheduling, preemptive scheduling. Okay, non-preemptive scheduling means if the process or task is started, it will not stop intermediately, it will complete fully. After completing the service of particular process, the control will be transferred to the next process. Okay. In case of preemptive scheduling, if the process is started, it may stop intermediately for service in the next process. Okay, interrupt is available in the preemptive scheduling. Okay, see, non-preemptive scheduling is further classified into first come first serviced, last come first serviced, shortest job first, priority based scheduling. Okay, preemptive scheduling is further classified into preemptive shortest job first scheduling, round robin scheduling, preemptive priority based scheduling. Okay, first I am going to explain about non-preemptive scheduling. Already I told what is non-preemptive scheduling. If the process is started, it will complete fully, it will not stop intermediately. After completing the particular process, the control will be transferred to the next process. This is not. See, under that, first come first serviced scheduling. Okay, here just consider three processes: P1, P2 and P3. P1 completion time is 10 millisecond, P2 completion time is 5 millisecond, P3 completion time is 7 millisecond. Okay, it is coming in the order of P1, P2 and P3. P1 is coming first, P2 is coming second, P3 is coming third. Okay, so let us draw the Gantt chart for the first come first service scheduling. See, P1 is first coming process is P1, right? Here first come first service. The process which is coming first, that will be service first. Got it? So P1 will be service first. So P1, the completion time of 10 millisecond, so 0 to 10. Okay, then after that P2 is coming with the completion time of 5 millisecond, so 10 plus 5, that is 15. Okay, then after that P3 is coming with the completion time of 7 millisecond, so 15 plus 7, you are getting 22. Okay, next we have to find the waiting time for each process. The waiting time for P1 is 0 millisecond. How much time it is waited for the service? Only 0 millisecond. Okay, so P2 waiting time is 10 millisecond, P3 waiting time is 15 millisecond. Got it? Next, we have to find the average waiting time. For finding the average, we have to add all the three, then divide by 3. 0 plus 10 plus 15 divided by 3, you are getting 25 divided by 3, which is equal to 8.33 millisecond. This is the average waiting time. Okay. Next, we have to find the turnaround time. Okay. How much time is required to complete the servicing of particular process? Okay, see, for P1, for completing the process P1, the 10 millisecond is required. Turnaround time for P1 is 10 millisecond. Turnaround time for P2 is 15 millisecond. Turnaround time for P3 is 22 millisecond. Okay, for finding the average turnaround time, you have to add all the three and divide by 3. 10 plus 20, 15 plus 22 divided by 3. 47 divided by 3, which is equal to 15.66 millisecond. Okay, average turnaround time is equal to 15.66 millisecond. This is for first come first serviced. Okay, the next one is last come first serviced. Okay, see, here the which process is coming last, that will be serviced first. That is the logic. Okay, here P1 completion time is 10 millisecond, P2 completion time is 5 millisecond, P3 completion time is 7 millisecond, P4 completion time is 6 millisecond. Okay, so actually it is coming in the order of P1, P2 and P3. This is the order, and very important thing is P4 enters the ready queue after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1. So initially P1 is started. Okay, after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1, P4 is coming. Okay, see here. So initially P1 is started with the completion time of 10 millisecond. Okay, next P4 is coming after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1. Okay, that is the important thing. So which is coming last, that is P4. Okay, That's why it is service immediately after P1. Okay. So the completion time for P4 is 6 millisecond. So 10 plus 6 that is 16. Okay. After that, two processes left, right? So among two process which is coming last, P3. Okay, that's why the next P3. Okay, so P3 with the completion time of 7 milliseconds. 16 plus 7, 23. Okay, after that P4. After that P2. Okay, so P2 only left. So P2 with the completion time of 5 milliseconds. So 23 plus 5, 28. Got it? Now we have to find the waiting time and what's that? Turnaround time. Okay. So waiting time for P1 is P1 waiting time is 0 millisecond. Okay, right. Next P4 waiting time. The information which is given as P4 enters the ready queue after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1. Right. See, very important thing. P4 is coming after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1. That's why the waiting time for P4 is 5 milliseconds. Okay. Next, waiting time for P3 is 16 milliseconds. Waiting time for P2 is 23 milliseconds. Got it? For finding the average waiting time, we have to add all the 4 and divide by 4. That is 44 divided by 4. You are getting 11 milliseconds. Okay. Next, we have to find the turnaround time. See, for P1 turnaround time is 10 milliseconds. Okay. For P4 turnaround time is the important thing. So already 5 milliseconds. 5 plus 6, 11 will be coming. Got it? How this 11 come? Right? Okay. The information which is given is P4 is entering into the ready queue after 5 millisecond scheduling of P1. After 5 millisecond only P1 is coming. So here only 5 millisecond. 5 plus 6, 11 will be coming. Okay. So turnaround time for P4 is 11 millisecond. Turnaround time for P3 is how much? 23 milliseconds. For P2, 28 milliseconds. So for finding the average turnaround time, you just add all the 4 divided by 4. You are getting 18 milliseconds. Okay. The next one is shortest job first. Okay. For the name itself, we can say. So which job or which task is shortest job, that will be serviced first. Right. So which process is having shortest completion time, that will be serviced first. That is the concept. Okay. See, here P1 is there with the completion time of 10 millisecond, P2 with the completion time of 5 millisecond, P3 with the completion time of 7 millisecond. Here which process is having shortest completion time? 5 millisecond for P2. So that will be service first. Okay. So P2. Okay. So 0 to 5. Then after that shortest process is 7. Okay. So P3 is coming second. 5 plus 7, that is 12. After that P1 is there. So with the completion time of 10 milliseconds, so 12 plus 10, we are getting 22. Okay. Here the average waiting time. Average waiting time we have to find. Before that, waiting time for each process. Waiting time for P2 is 0 millisecond. Waiting time for P3 is 5 millisecond. Waiting time for P1 is 12 millisecond. Okay. So average waiting time is, we have to add all the 3 and divide by 3. You are getting 5.66 millisecond. Okay. Next, turnaround time. For P2, turnaround time is 5 millisecond. For P3, turnaround time is 12 millisecond. P1, turnaround time is 22 millisecond. You just add all the 3 and divide by 3. You are getting 13 millisecond. This is for average turnaround time for what? Shortest job first scheduling. Okay. You just compare all the 3. For FCFS, turnaround time, average turnaround time is 15.66 millisecond. Here you are getting 18 millisecond. Here you are getting 13 millisecond. Okay. So the thing is that shortest job first. So turnaround time is somewhat improved. So it is somewhat less, right, when compared to other scheduling. Okay, right? So that's all about non-preemptive scheduling. In non-preemptive scheduling, one more scheduling is also there. In that case, so priority based scheduling, based on the priority of the process, so it will be sequentially serviced. Okay, thank you.